Welcome to our Connect for Mailchimp QuickTip video series. Today we're going to review what happens during synchronization and subsequent resynchronization of an audience to Mailchimp from iMIS and vice versa. The initial sync between Mailchimp passes a lot of information between the two different systems. In addition to the creation of all of your merged data fields, there are a number of things that happen upon the first synchronization run. For example, each subscriber included in that mailing list IQA is created in Mailchimp. This includes any of the additional fields found in the merged data IQA. All of the merged data fields are set for each subscriber. The initial synchronization will insert all of the information into Mailchimp and can take a little bit longer to complete. The time for the run will depend on the number of fields, the number of subscribers, and the number of errors or warnings that are thrown on the integration run. If you modify one of the IQA queries, for example, updates to the merged data IQA, adding or removing a field, each subscriber in Mailchimp will be updated to reflect this change. Once the initial sync has been completed and the subscriber list is in Mailchimp, the follow-up or subsequent synchronizations typically run a little faster. This does depend on changes to the IQAs or data that needs to be updated since the previous integration run. The steps of the resynchronization are any changes to the list will be completed. This includes additional subscribers to be added or existing subscribers that need to be removed. Each existing subscriber record will be reviewed during the resynchronization. This will check for changes in the content of the merged data fields for each user. Any email address updates from Mailchimp will be completed in iMIS, and this will update both the name and name address tables in iMIS. Any new activity details, the send, click, open history will be written into iMIS. Obviously, the extent of this step will depend on the quantity of messages sent from Mailchimp. The resynchronization typically takes less time than the initial, especially if no changes are made to the underlying data structure or IQAs. If for any reason you require to modify one of the two queries used in an active audience, it is suggested that you inactivate that mailing list in the admin panel and make sure that the list is not being processed. You will need to edit or mark the row or rows in the iMIS Mailchimp administrative panel as inactive. This should be done for all lists that are using the IQA. Remember, if it's a merged data IQA, you may need to inactivate multiple lists. Confirmed in the Azure log that at mailchimpcsystemsglobal.com that the audience is no longer synchronizing. Look for that message that indicates that the process for the audience is complete or that all audiences are complete. At this point, you can update your query or queries. Don't forget to save those changes in your IQAs, and then mark the row or rows in the Mailchimp admin panel back to active. If you've watched our Connect for Mailchimp intro videos, you've seen and heard the steps for deleting an audience or list, setting the list to active and marking it for delete. You may even recognize this slide. When deleting an audience or a list via the Mailchimp admin panel in iMIS, it could take up to 7 days to complete that action. Mailchimp will report back that if the audience has an active campaign, or it will not delete for at least 7 days. This is to make sure that the activity details are still able to be tracked for at least that next week. We have seen cases where the audience was deleted sooner than this 7-day window. However, that message will always be recorded in the list logs. So don't be scared when you see that there. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to send us a note at support@csystemsglobal.com.